Good evening, everybody. Week 5, or our class number 5, our last class in this somewhat shorter summer term, and I welcome all of you. One request for our last class. I can't force you to do this, but how about showing yourselves tonight? Turn on your cameras if you don't mind. If you don't, that's your decision. But if you want to turn on your cameras tonight for our last class, I'd appreciate it. Tonight's class is finishing up our discussions. Smile, Cecilia, it's not that bad. Tonight we're going to conclude our discussion of this personal money management class with, first of all, taking a look at our stock portfolios. We do have a Wolf of Wall Street winner for our class. Brenda Ashmurphy, congratulations. And we appreciate her efforts, and we'll take a look at her portfolio. It was quite impressive. I might consider hiring Brenda to be my portfolio manager at the performance that she did this evening, or this week, or this term. We're going to take a look at that. Then we're going to talk a little bit about taxes. Then we're going to talk a little bit about concluding the course, some final comments, and a little mini poll that we're going to do like we usually do. And then we'll close it down for the term. And you move on to bigger and better things in the fall. Too bad it's all going to be online again. And I'm sorry for that. For some of you, probably that's a bummer. But it's for safety first. I don't want you walking around campus with a bunch of people coughing and sneezing all over you. I don't think that'd be very cool. So I think this is better safe than sorry, especially many of you I know have family, have children, have people you care about, maybe parents, grandparents. You don't want to bring anything home to them. And I think if you keep it in that perspective, I think we can deal with online education, especially if the professor knows what the hell they're doing. And that sometimes is a key. So that's what we're going to be talking about this evening. I am recording this session for the sake of posterity and to put into YouTube. So welcome everybody, and I'm glad you're here for our last class. First of all, here's how my portfolio ended up. Not great, because I kind of invested in some dogs, but not bad. I made a little bit over 11%. Right? A little bit over 11%. I beat the market except for the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ has been on a roll, set another all-time high today, matter of fact, the last 3 days. But my investment in Apple, Bristol Myers, Merrick, and Disney gave me a return in 10 weeks of about $11,000. Not bad. Naturally, notice what I'm doing here, and you didn't have to do this, but I was looking for if you wanted to get imaginative. I made my portfolio went up by $10,688.73 from my original investment. Also, during the course of the class, Bristol Myers and Merrick paid a dividend. Bristol Myers paid a dividend of 45 cents a share. Merrick paid a dividend of 61 cents a share during the time I held this stock from June 12th to August 3rd. And so that was some additional income I would make if I owned that stock during this period, an additional $400. I added that to my gain of the stock, and that's how I got my 11%. Okay, so not a bad performance. I think $11,000 for 10 weeks portfolio is not bad. Now, but then we have Miss Ashbury. And here's Miss Ashbury's portfolio. Excuse me. Miss Ashbury, original investment in 5 stocks: Tesla, Netflix, CRISPR Therapeutics, MGM Resorts, and Advanced Micro Devices, especially Tesla and Advanced Micro Devices. She cleaned up. $38,000 was her return. 38.4% was Brenda's return, even though she didn't indicate that to me in her portfolio, nor did she $1,000. She cleaned up in Tesla, having Tesla has been making profits the last couple of quarters, and people have been jumping on that bandwagon. By the way, the reason Tesla is making profits, it has nothing to do with the cars they're producing. It has to do with the feedback and the money they get from the other big automobile companies of the world who pay them a fee to purchase their batteries and other technology. So that's a little bit of a stretch there for Tesla, but I'm not a big fan of Elon Musk, so I'm a little bit biased. And secondly, Advanced Micro Devices. They've been getting in on the microchip craziness. Intuit has been getting out of the microchip business, and Advanced Micro Devices has picked up the slack in that and has made a huge turnaround this last 10 weeks. Somehow, Brenda is the Swami, and she predicted that and cashed in on that return. So this is what Brenda is getting from me as soon as she sends me her mailing address. Brenda, take note. She's getting a University of Laverne magnetic pennant. I spared no expense. And Brenda's going to get this so she can put it on her refrigerator. Can't put it on your child or your husband or anything like that, but you can put it's magnetic, so you can put that on and show everybody that you went to University of Laverne and you're the Wolf of Wall Street. And plus, Brenda also is going to get for her caffeine fix a Starbucks gift card that I will be mailing to her as the Wolf of Wall Street for our class this summer. And that's no small accomplishment. But the most important thing, forget the gift card and the magnetic pennant of University of Laverne. Forget that. She is now going to be on my wall in my office as a member of the exclusive club of the Wolf of Wall Street. Going back to 1985, she joins an elite list of about 125 fellow students who has been the Wolf of Wall Street over this period of time. I'm telling you, Academy Awards, Emmys, Super Bowl championships, nothing compares to the Wolf of Wall Street. So Brenda, congratulations. Wave to the fans for us. Thank you. Thank you, Brenda. And there she is. And Brenda is our Wolf of Wall Street winner. And congratulations. Now, Brenda, one question to you. How did you come about these stock selections?
Okay, so I chose Tesla because in my head it was Tesla. So when you said that whole thing earlier about how they are more reliant on, their other parts in order to make them money, I actually didn't know that. I think I chose Tesla because it was one of the things I actually knew. With Netflix, I kind of thought about what was going on with the world right now as far as the pandemic. And I know everybody, all they were doing was watching Netflix. So I chose that one. For CRISPR Therapeutics, I think at the time when I chose that one, I chose it because I was looking for something in like the medical area, and I was reading up on it, and I believe at the time, I think it was talking about the vaccines as far as I believe so. It was talking about the vaccines as far that they were trying to create and for the pandemic that's going on right now for COVID-19. So I chose that one because I thought like, okay, obviously like if they're trying to create a vaccine, people are going to pay money for that. And then the MGM resorts, which actually didn't make me any money, I believe that was the one that went down. I chose that one because it's down, or it was low because obviously everybody's not going to Vegas, but eventually when this all, goes away, then people are going to go back to Vegas. And so I feel like that's going to go up. And then the advanced micro devices, me and my boyfriend, we actually own a lot of products that go through them. And then he was telling me about their stock. So I went in and I found it and I picked that one.
Very good, Brenda. Great selection. So you invested in companies that you thought would be doing well this summer with the pandemic, entertainment, uh, technology, travel, that sort of thing, and manufacturing, and you did well. And that's a great thing. You are to be commended. And you'll be getting a call from my headhunter asking you to join my investment group as a Wolf of Wall Street candidate. So no, I'm just teasing, but
Thank
that's
you.
great. So Brenda, thank you, and congratulate your boyfriend. He looks like what's his name?
His name is Yalen.
Yalen. So Yalen had a part in this, so you can share. You can buy him a cup of coffee or whatever, and everything will be
Yeah.
well in the house. Okay, but tell him also congratulations. So that's good. So that's our Wolf of Wall Street. Now the good thing about this is, it gives us a little bit of idea about portfolios, investing, and just like Brenda did, she picked some stocks using her intelligence and picking about the environment, the time of the year, the time of our economy, and she did a very good choice. Others, like Professor Hassey, picked companies because he's historically picked those companies like Disney and Apple. And in Disney, I got burned. Disney had a drop in their revenue of 42% this past quarter, and their stock did not do very well because of that. So I guessed wrong that. And that was the key thing. I guessed wrong. I should have thought something a little bit better. So that's the way it works. That's the way stock works. Maybe next quarter I'll do pretty good, and maybe Brenda will go down the tubes next quarter. You never know, and that's why you always have to stay up to date and understand the market, understand how it can change, and just through the exercise of looking up the stocks, understanding what Dow, S&P 500, and Nasdaq are, just going through that cycle. For many of us, it's kind of the first time. So I hope you got something out of that, something to go forward with into the future, and have a little bit more wherewithal about how stocks and this sort of thing works in our market. So again, everybody did a good job. So thank you. Everybody did a very good job, matter of fact. Another thing I want to talk about this evening is I want to talk about taxes. All right. Uh, Let me just bring this up here. Okay. Taxes. You know, we're not going to be assessed anything about this, but all of you should be. I think there's one thing in our life, besides taking care of our families and the people we care about, is that runs our personal money management. It's taxes, because we're always paying them. We're going to look at a sample paycheck, and a paycheck is taxes, taking out taxes. If you purchase something at a store, you pay sales tax. If you buy real estate, you have to pay property tax. If you die, you have to pay tax. Taxes are the single most determinant of our personal money management. When you have no money, you just want to keep track of your taxes on your tax return so you can get a refund. But as you start making money, you want to limit the amount of tax you have to pay by your financial decisions. Investing in tax deductible assets like real estate, investing in places outside of California where there's reduced taxes. There's a few states in the United States where if you own real estate or live in those states, you do not have to pay state income tax. The state of Washington, Texas, Nevada, Florida. Where do most of our professional athletes live? Florida, Nevada. Why? They don't have to pay state income tax. It's a little bit of a tax haven for them. So taxes drive your business, your financial decisions throughout all your life. Like it or not, they do that. Okay? If you get paid overtime, you think, oh boy, I got paid overtime this week. I'm going to be rolling in it. more taxes are taken out because you went and made more money. And that's frustrating. You get a pay raise every January 1st or July 1st from your employer, 2%, 3%, whatever. You get your paycheck increased by 10 bucks. Holy moly, what a great thing. Why? Because of taxes. So you always have to be aware of taxes in your life, how they affect your money management. And that's a very important thing. And if we don't keep track of taxes, that's going to hurt you in managing your money. So taxes are important to us. And why are they important? For this simple reason. Let me bring that up. A paycheck. Most of us like to get a paycheck. Here's a sample paycheck from the University of Laverne. It's 5 years old, so we're not breaking anybody's confidence by showing this. But notice this person made a gross salary or gross pay of $3,776, but they ended up getting paid $2,400. $1,300 was taken out of their pay, and most of that was for taxes and health insurance. Social Security tax, Medicare tax. These two taxes you won't see until you turn 65. And for most of you, probably until you turn 68, because those are changing every year. You got to be older. Social Security, your federal income tax that goes to Washington, the state income tax that goes to Sacramento, the SDI tax, disability insurance, goes to California. Right there, there's about $900 of tax, $850, all going to the government. And then the bummer thing about it is if you buy something at the store, you have to pay sales tax. If you buy real estate, you have to pay property tax. If you buy a car, a big part of the car payment, a big part of the car purchase is that sales tax. So tax is always around. And the rest of this paycheck is health insurance, eye insurance, more health insurance, life insurance, long-term disability insurance, retirement, and parking. Yes, parking. But this is a sample paycheck that a lot of us get. We have a lot of different types of deductions, but these about 70 to 75% of our paychecks go to taxes. Taxes for government services that when we retire, we get some benefits, knock on wood. Taxes to go to the federal government to guarantee defense, to guarantee social services around the country. Taxes to the state of California to manage roads, education within our state. That's our contract as being a citizen of the United States. You have to pay taxes. And the best way the government can collect these taxes is require by law our employers to withhold these taxes and for every paycheck. We have no say in the matter. The only say we have in the matter is we can change our deductions and reduce or increase the amount of tax being taken out of our pay if we change our deductions. But this is our day-to-day experience with taxes. And many times we don't even pay attention to it. One class a couple of terms ago, I asked the students to bring in a sample paycheck. And I didn't want them to show it to anybody, just bring it in. And I asked them, do you know what every one of these lines represents? And 100% said no. They didn't even understand and know what was being taken out of their own money. The first place to start in personal money management is to understand your paycheck. Where all does the money go? How can you control this? Do you understand what's it all about? Most of the paycheck deductions are either for today's benefits or future benefits. Today's benefits are like health insurance, like taxes, federal and state. But the other ones are future benefits, like retirement, disability, Social Security, Medicare. So you're paying taxes either for today's requirements or for the future benefits that you hope to get. And who determines those taxes is the federal government and the state government. And we have a variety of tax brackets. This is the most recent tax brackets in our country. They've been adjusted a little bit since President Trump took office, been lowered. He's proposing to lower them again at the end of this year. I don't think that's going to happen. But be that as it may, if you make these level of gross adjustable income, your tax. So if the lowest tax rate is 10% on the federal taxes, and the highest tax rate, LeBron James territory, is 37%. Most of us fall into 22 and 24%. That's where most American citizens are, 22 and 24%. Almost a quarter of your tax goes to the federal government, of your pay. Notice we have 4 different filings. This is how you file your tax return. Single, married filing separate, married filing jointly, or head of the household. Head of the household is usually when you have lots of, like your parents are living with you and you're supporting them, or your grandparents, other people, and you're considered the head of the household. You have more deductions. But here are the tax rates currently in America. And in the state of California, the state of California has the highest state income tax rate of 13.3%. So 13.3, let's say I'm in a 22% tax bracket on my federal return. Add another 13% of that, 35% of my pay goes to withholding tax. It's enough to get you all upset. So why don't I move to Florida, Alaska, Wyoming, Washington, Texas, South Dakota, or Nevada? Those are all the states that have no state income tax. Florida, I don't want to live in Florida. It's too many bugs. Alaska, are you kidding me? It's dark 6 months a year. Wyoming, Dick Cheney's from there. I'm staying out of there. Washington, not bad. Texas, I'm not going to get into problems there. That's not bad. South Dakota, you ever spent a winter in South Dakota? Trust me, you want to stay away from that. And Nevada, Vegas and Reno, might be worth a try. But if I don't want to live in those states, I got to pay my state income tax. The highest is California, then Hawaii, Oregon, Minnesota, and Iowa. So stay away from those states. So that's the tax brackets that we pay currently around the country. And in California, we're in the highest income tax state. Part of the benefits of living in California, nice weather, crowded 210 freeway, beaches, mountains, all that, is we live in a very expensive state. A state that tries to take care of the citizens in their state that cannot afford to take care of themselves. And there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. That's why I live in California. I could very easily now be living in Nevada, Texas, Florida, but I choose to live in California because I don't mind paying the taxes in this state. Other people think differently and they're moving out. But you have that You have that right to choose that. Cerise asked an interesting question. Why does each state have a different tax rate? Well, Cerise, I'm going to give you an American history lesson, and I'll be very blunt, very quick about it. But when the United States was founded, the founders of our Constitution and our Declaration of Independence, states' rights was paramount in our country. The federal government was second fiddle. States were given distinctive rights. The reason why a lot of states decided to become the United States of America is they said, okay, I'll get involved in this, but we want to determine our own affairs. Thomas Jefferson was a big advocate of this. But then there was George Washington and Samuel Adams and Alexander Hamilton, if any of you have seen the play, talked about federal government to oversee and protect everybody. That was a big brawl and a big argument throughout the early days of the United States. But we have maintained ever since then, for these 265 years or whatever, that states have rights to determine their own affairs. And Cerise, states have their own determination of taxing their citizens. Yes, the federal government's going to set a tax for its citizens, but each individual state has the right to determine their own taxation. And that goes back since the beginning days of the United States of America. It's been states' rights has been a very important topic. Why did we have a civil war in 1860 to 1865? So you guys didn't know this. I'm not just a pretty face. I know American history. But be that as it may, and we had the Civil War because certain states did not like the federal government telling them about slavery. And they rebelled, and we had a civil war over it. So, quick and dirty answers, Cerise. States have a determination of certain things in their running their own governments, and income taxes and state income taxes are one of those. Okay, so that's the tax rates. Okay. So it's going to be a big thing for many of us because of all these taxes, California tax, federal tax, property tax, sales tax. We have to, as we grow older or we become more mature in the managing of our money, we have to have various tax planning strategies where we can delay taxes, have more deductions, and that sort of thing. Now, the tax law has changed quite a bit in the last 10 years, but one advantage has still stayed the same. If you own assets, you get deductions. You can make a lot of money, but if you do not own assets, you cannot have tax deductions because you're rewarded on our tax statements for owning assets. If you own a house, if you own a business, if you own an income generating assets, you can deduct those expenses of that asset, which will reduce your taxes. General Electric last year had sales of $17 billion and a profit of $2 billion. They paid zero corporate taxes. They made $2 billion and they didn't pay any corporate taxes. Why? They had deductions. And the government gives them those deductions because it keeps General Electric staying in America and hiring people and making money. It's like that for every business. So businesses own a lot of assets. LeBron James lives in Beverly Hills. Why? He's in the highest tax state. How did the Lakers appeal to him to come here from Cleveland? Hey, LeBron, you can have your own corporation out here. You can be incorporated and you'll get tax breaks from the state of California. It's almost like living in Nevada for LeBron. He gets tax breaks because he's incorporated, he's a corporation, and he has assets that he can deduct on his taxes. That's why LeBron James came to the Lakers. You think he came because for basketball? Business all the way, all the way. That's why a lot of companies do business in California. They get deductions from being in California. That's an important thing. So for us individually, I can't tell you how many times a year I get emails or phone calls from friends or people saying, Rick, help me. I need more deductions. I need more deductions. I can't pay 40% of my income in taxes. I need deductions. I tell them, okay, you need deductions, buy assets, buy real estate, turn it into income generating property, buy a building, rent it out, depreciation, operating expenses, deductible. Yeah, but that means I got to borrow money to buy those assets. It's the way it is. Nothing around that. So if you want to have greater deductions, you have to own assets. And that's the hassle. So as you and your families and you personally grow over your life, how to avoid taxes? Buy assets, buy real estate, invest in a building, start a business. Because with those you get deductions. But if you just keep going from paycheck to paycheck, but there's nothing wrong with that with a company, you will only have the standard deductions. You do not have any other way of taking a tax break because you do not own tax deductible assets. So there's tax planning 101. You don't need to hire a financial planner. The financial planner will tell you the exact same thing. You got to buy assets. You only get deductions from them. That's the main tax planning strategy. Own assets. I realized this when I was in my late 20s and early 30s when I started to make some decent money. I was paying so much in taxes, I was getting, excuse me, ladies, pissed off. Naturally, being an MBA student or an MBA graduate, I figured it out. I need more deductions. So I bought my first house to rent it out. Then I bought another one. Then I bought another one. And I was finding I was owning assets and they were accumulating in value. At the same time, I was paying less tax. I was earning money off them, cash flow, but I had expenses, taxes, depreciation, operating expenses of the property, and I could deduct all those. I started to pay less taxes. I was earning more money, but I was paying less taxes. Oh, I like this idea. And that's something you're all going to deal with down the road. Mr. Hassey, I'm not even close to that yet. That's all right. You will be. And when you are, that's how you take deductions and manage your personal finances by owning assets. If you can't own a house my first house that I bought as an investment, I went in with 3 other college buddies. I didn't have that kind of money. So we started a little business. We pooled our money and bought a house. Then we did it again. And we had a nice little side business there. And each of us got a quarter, 25% of the deductions, 25% of the income, 25% of the value, and we had a little business. And gradually over time, we bought each other out and we went our separate ways, but now we have a lot of deductions. That's a good way of doing that. You don't need a financial planner to tell you that. You just need a business administration degree to figure it out. So think about that down the road. That's your main strategy. You want to avoid taxes? Either get paid less, I don't think that's an option, or own. Be an owner. Be an owner. Easier said than done these days, especially in California, but that's where you have to get to. If you have to pool your money with a family member, with the friends, to start owning things, fine, do that. But once you start doing that, you'll see the benefits and the tax advantages of doing that. Yes, it can be a rather hassle to own things you got to keep track of. You got to do the tax returns. You got to do that. But with technology today and applications like QuickBooks, it's really easy to manage. That's something you should all be aware of down the road, because taxes are going to be there forever, unless you move to Finland or whatever. They're always going to be there. So that's the main strategy. I'm going to show you now a little video about taxes. It's kind of dopey, kind of like the video I gave you in the introduction video for tonight, kind of goofy, but it tells us, it summarizes the point about payroll taxes. So let's take a look at that.
Here's your paycheck.
Oh, yeah, my first paycheck. All right. What the? I earned $2,100, but I'm only taking home $1,600. What gives?
Yeah, I get that a lot. You're expecting something a little bigger, huh?
What? Who's talking?
It's me, down here.
Huh?
There's a reason your take-home pay isn't higher. Taxes.
Man, I hate taxes.
Hold on there, big guy. Just like I'm your income, taxes make up the government's income. Without taxes, our government couldn't provide services that people want and need.
Yeah, but where do all my taxes go?
Funny you should ask. If you got a minute, I'll tell you the story of your federal taxes.
Yeah, geez, sounds thrilling. But bummer, I've got that combo colonoscopy root canal.
Sit down and listen. Did you know that the U.S. federal budget is more than $3 trillion? How the government raises the funds to pay the bills and thinks about spending affects you directly. Let's start by looking at my stub.
Okay.
First, here's your FICA, or payroll taxes. They're collected from both you and your employer, and they pay for things like earned benefits. They flow into a pot of money called trust funds. Now, let's look at your federal income taxes. They go into a much larger pot of money called the federal funds. Between your FICA taxes and income taxes, folks like you are the government's main bill payers. Now let's talk about borrowing. When the government spends more than it takes in, it has to borrow. Borrowing, the deficit, is larger when the economy is bad. More people are unemployed and paying fewer taxes, and there's more need for government services. Borrowed money contributes to the federal fund as well. That's the government's income in a nutshell.
But what does all that money buy?
Now, my friend, that's the trillion-dollar question. In 2013, the government will spend more than $3.7 trillion broken out into three chunks: mandatory, discretionary, and interest on our national debt. Remember those FICA taxes you paid? They go to trust funds, which help pay for mandatory spending that's required by law. For example, Social Security and Medicare. Everyone over 62 is eligible for this support. A big portion of federal funds, that is your federal income taxes, goes to discretionary spending that happens at the discretion of the president and Congress every single year. One discretionary item, for example, is the military. 57% of all discretionary spending goes to fund the military. Now, look down here. 6% of discretionary spending goes to education for things like Head Start and community colleges and Pell Grants. Discretionary spending plus mandatory spending plus interest we have to pay on our national debt equal all federal spending. But the story doesn't end there. States and cities and towns count on a sizable chunk of this federal money. People like you also get money from the federal government when you need it, in the form of support like unemployment and disability insurance. In 2010, folks in Colorado received an average of $4,081 each. Any questions?
Yeah, but what does any of it do for me?
Really? Just a few things like making sure you breathe clean air and drink good water, making sure all people have access to affordable housing, funding for your favorite national park, cancer research, and elder services.
Huh.
Major debates are raging in Washington right now over tax policies, how to prioritize federal spending, how to deal with our nation's debt, and how to lower unemployment. This is where you come in. What are your priorities? You have the right and responsibility to get involved. Write a letter to the editor. Call your congressperson. Talk with your neighbors. Vote. Visit National Priorities Project. They're good, nerdy folks. They'll get you started.
Weird day. I have a lot to think about.
Yep. But first, what do you say you put me in your pocket and we go celebrate your new job?
Okay, great. I'm gonna go have a beer with my paycheck.
Yep. And I'm buying.
Okay, a little corny, yes. And this video is 7 years old, but it's still about the same. And naturally, the numbers about tripled, but it's still about the same as far as taxes and the government and how that all works. That's just another more discussion about where tax money goes. And being part of this is your main personal money management. That's what you have to do, have to be aware of in order to do this. Okay, I'm going to try to get us out of here in the next 15 to 20 minutes. So this is going to be maybe a half hour. So I want to go over this one thing now for you. It was mentioned in our agenda for this evening. So let me bring that up. Okay. All your grades or all your work should be posted by today. Your paper, naturally, a lot of you posted your spreadsheet and your portfolio. And if you haven't posted that, too late, it's tough rocks. So that's done. And so what's going to happen in the next couple of days is I'm going to post the grades and grade them and post them to Blackboard by next Monday, August 10th. So you'll be able to go into Blackboard, into your grade center, and see your course grade. Now, the one condition for that is I'd like you to complete the course evaluation. You've probably either have received an email from the University of Laverne about the course evaluations, or I have also in our Blackboard site, bring that up here. In class number 5 file folder, given you some instructions about the course evaluation, okay? And you can go to these links into the My Laverne and follow the directions and click on course evaluations. Now, one of the things that's important is I can't tell you how many students I run into or talk with or get feedback from who say, I don't like this professor. This stinks. This professor is good, but I don't see him or her teaching enough. How you can fix that is by doing your course evaluation. It's anonymous. Nobody knows who filled it out. It's anonymous. I don't get your information until 3 months after this class. I won't see the evaluations for this class probably until October. But they help administrative staff and me, the professor, do better for you guys. If you don't like the professor, say it in the evaluation. If you like the professor, say it in the evaluation. If you like the content, say it in the evaluation. If you don't like the content, say it in the evaluation. This is feedback. So take advantage of this, please. And my incentive to you is if you do your course evaluation, excuse me, if you do your course evaluation, you will get your grade by next Monday. If you don't do your evaluation, no big deal. It doesn't affect your grade at all, because I don't know. The only thing I know is who posted them and who not. I don't know what's inside those evaluations. But if you don't post your evaluation, which is, again, no big deal, you'll have to wait for the registrar to post your grade in about 2 weeks. But for a lot of us who get reimbursed by our employer, or for a lot of us who are going to start registering for classes in the fall, having an understanding of what your grade is important. The quicker you get your grade, the better. So that's why I have this little bargain deal for you, is if you do your evaluations, you'll get your grade by next Monday evening. And all you do is go in the Blackboard and you see it. If you don't do your evaluation, you'll go into Blackboard and you won't see your final grade. You'll see the grades in all the rest of your classes, but you will not see your final grade, or you will not see your cumulative percentage that you've been seeing a lot of during the course of the term. That is also blacked out. So that's, I encourage you to do that. It helps me. It helps the university serve you better. Well, you might say, wait a minute, Mr. Hassey, I've already taken the course. How is this going to help me? It's going to help you because it's going to make Laverne, who, if I'm teaching this class or who's ever teaching the class, and I'm going to be teaching other classes, it makes me a better professor. And it tells Laverne, maybe we should make a change here. So that's something that you should think about when doing these evaluations. It's located in class number 5 in the concluding file of our class. So please note that going forward into this weekend to do your course evaluation. Okay, that's that. Now, I want you guys to do a little poll for me. It's kind of my mini evaluation, all right? I want you to do a little poll for me. Brenda, you all set? You know, just nod your head. Cecilia, you all set? Gabby, June, Cerise, Oliver, Cheryl, here we go. Online remote class is not for me. Okay, but not for me. Great, I wish every class was. Okay, depends on the professor. No comment. Remember, I don't know who fills out this poll, so don't worry about me getting upset if you say I'm a jerk. I'm tough. But online remote class is what for you? Let's see what the poll says. See, Cecilia's already done. She's just saying, yeah, I said my voice. Okay, I'm good. Give you a couple minutes to do this. And I'll post the results in just a minute. Brenda, did you vote? Okay.
Yes.
Oliver, vote. Miss Guzman, vote. Cheryl, vote. I'm just guessing. I don't know who voted and who did not. Cerise, vote for Pete's sakes. All right, you got 30 seconds. Online remote class is ten seconds. %. Okay, depends on the professor. 20%. Great, I wish every class was. Ooh, I like you. 20% okay, but not for me. I'm surprised nobody had not for me. I'm surprised about that. Okay, but that's just a little poll by me. And again, as I said at the beginning of class, I wish I could see you guys every Friday night on campus and we have class. I usually bring in coffee and donuts. I usually bring in, nice discussions, but we just can't do that for your safety. It has nothing, and for my safety, to be honest with you. We just can't do that. And I know you guys understand that. But I agree with the poll. Online works if the professor knows what the hell's going on, if they give good feedback. And this is some stuff you should say in your evaluation. If I didn't give you good feedback or if I failed you in that, you should say that. because that's important. And in your other classes as well. The university's job is to teach you guys and give you discipline for a career. And if we're doing that incorrectly, we should know about it. And let me give you a little hint that I probably shouldn't tell you this. President Lieberman reads these evaluations. The provost, my boss, reads these evaluations, especially from these type of classes, working adults, adult learners. You guys are very important to us, and your opinions matter. Trust me. You might not think so, but I'm probably even shouldn't tell you all this, but it does. It makes a difference. So I want you to be aware of that. Okay, so that's our little poll. Hold on, let me take a picture of this so I can post this to my Blackboard. Hang on. Just take a little picture, and then we're out of here. Send this to President Lieberman. Okay, so that's our poll for this evening and our last poll for our class. Now, speaking of last class, let me talk to you guys about this. God, my hair looks tragic. I need a haircut. Just awful. God, dang. All right, this is our last class. And what does that mean? I'll never see Professor Hasse again. No, that does not what it means. I will never have any contact with Professor Hasse again. No, that's not what it means. I don't have to listen to this stupid personal money management class ever again. Yes, you're right. All right? But here's what it means. One of the key things about going to college and getting a degree is, yes, the learning is important, but almost just as important is developing a network for yourselves. Developing people you meet, you come in contact with. Developed professors and staff that you trust and relate to. Because here's why. Down the road in the future, we can help you. We can write you letters of recommendation. We can tell people what you studied here with us. We can tell people what type of people you are by just having you in class. So I want you to be aware of that. Not to blow smoke up my behind, but I keep a spreadsheet of every student I've ever taught. Ever. That with this class closing this week, I'm now going to hit 8,800 names. 8,800 students. It's kind of cool. From day one. You know when I started teaching? Don't laugh. You guys probably weren't even born yet. 1978 was my first class at a community college. How about that? And I've kept track of every student since then. You know why? Because if Cecilia sends me an email in 2 years, Mr. Hasse, hi, it's Cecilia. You probably don't remember me, but I was in your personal money management class in the summer of 2020. I have an opportunity to start a business. And I have to put together a business plan and get a small business loan. Could you help me and review my small business plan? And also, could you be a recommendation, write me a recommendation for the bank for getting a loan since you had me in business at the University of Laverne? Brenda sends me an email in 10 years. I'll be like this, drooling, but I'll still be around. And Brenda says, Mr. Hasse, I'm thinking about getting a new job and starting a new career. Could you write me a letter of recommendation? Now, when I get those emails from Cecilia and Brenda, I won't remember you from Adam. But I'll quickly go to my spreadsheet and see you in that class. And in that spreadsheet will be the grade that you received in my class and any little notes that I might add about you that I have gotten to know you. And I will refer to that. And then I will remember you. I will remember Cecilia and Brenda by just going to that class and seeing their grade. I know exactly who you are. And now I can write the letter of recommendation and do that for you. And every professor here, I don't know if they keep records of every student, but every professor at University of Laverne does this, writes recommendations, helps you after you graduate. You know, guys, and not to get corny, but I have taught at USC, UCLA, the Claremont colleges, uh, Pepperdine, UC Irvine. I have taught at all those schools. They pay a lot more money. But the reason why I keep teaching every term at Laverne, this is serious, is that Laverne cares a lot more about you as a student and as a person than any of those colleges. Trust me, especially the bigger ones. SC and UCLA, you're just a number. And that's why I keep teaching at Laverne. I know that sounds corny, but it's the dead truth. Because we have people here that when you leave college in 5 years and you need a recommendation or some help, let us know. Let me know. And that's going to be proving more valuable to you down the road as you get older and need that service. So it's not even a service. We enjoy it. I enjoy it. I enjoy hearing from students. I have a LinkedIn site, and almost, I'd say 80% of my former students are networked into that LinkedIn site where they can keep track of things that I post about jobs. A lot of people that I follow, they'll get some information of in the LinkedIn site. Remember, LinkedIn is not like Facebook or Twitter. We don't care what your political feelings are or whether you got a pizza this past week or you're having problems with your boyfriend. LinkedIn is a professional network. Take advantage of that. Develop that network using LinkedIn. The University of Laverne College of Business has an alumni site in LinkedIn to help you. So down the road, as you finish your business administration degree and you go out, or you finish any degree, biology, English, chemistry, as you go out in the world, you now have a network behind you to help you and support you. Take advantage of that. We're here to do that for you because we enjoy doing it, and I do too. So please, if you need a letter of recommendation, write me an email. It can even be next week. You know, Mr. Hassel, you mentioned about letter of recommendation. It's not a bad idea. Can I get one so I just can have it in my file and keep it at home? And in case I ever start looking for a job or need something, I have that letter of recommendation? Please do. Be happy to do that. So remember that down the road, guys, as you proceed with your career, as you leave Laverne, you have begun to develop a network. And people like Brenda, Cecilia, Mr. Oliver, and June, who made a lot of money in their portfolios this class, you guys should start putting some money in investments. I know you probably don't have much money to do that now, but keep track of that. Keep this stuff going because you guys all made more than $10,000, $11,000, $12,000. You guys did very well. You have, that's something, don't forget. You have now acquired a discipline for investments. There's nothing wrong with that. Yes, maybe some of you got lucky, but you use this as experience. This is great. So take that from this class as well. So I leave you tonight with this message. You know, this class is only a 2-credit course, and a lot of people don't take it very seriously. And we do have had some students who haven't participated much in this class, and they'll see that in their class participation grade. But overall, you guys have done very well. And I'm anxious to read your papers about different subjects that you guys care about that have to do with business or personal finance. So I'm going to read those papers in the next few days and post the grades by next Monday. Please take the time to take 3 or 4 minutes out of your time to do the evaluations. And I hope you guys stay in touch with me down the road. Maybe I'll see some of you in other classes. Or I'll see you at graduation in whatever shape or format that'll be right now. Who knows? But I have a feeling that we're going to get this mess cleaned up by the end of the year. And we'll get back to normal into 2021. I really believe that. That's not a hope. I really believe that can happen, and we'll do that. And we'll end up getting some maybe better leadership in this country. Some people aren't going to like that statement. Some better leadership in this country, all around, state, local, federal. and begin to get some more common sense in managing our affairs and caring about our fellow citizens and not looking out just for yourself. So I think that'll be a good message to leave you. And I want to thank you all for your attendance, for your participation. And I hope you got a little bit something out of this class to help you down the road of managing your money. And if you have any questions or issues that pop up about money management down the road, please let me know, and I can either help you or point you in the right direction. But don't ask me about investing. Give Brenda a call. Send her an email. She's the one to go talk to. All right, everybody. If you don't have anything else for me, I'm going to sign off, and I'll post this recording later. Look for your grades next week. If you have any questions about your grades, Mr. Hassey, how'd you calculate this? Let me know, okay? And I'll explain how I came about getting your grade, all right? I'm going to stay on the line in case anybody has any individual things to say. And I wish you all much success. And please stay healthy these next few months. And we'll get through this. And I hope to see you guys all live and in person one of these days instead of my stupid room here in Claremont. Adios, everybody. Take care and be well.
Thank you, Professor.
Thank you.
Thank you, Professor. Have a great day. Weekend.
Thank you. Thank you, Cecilia. It's been nice having you.
Professor,
Yes, sir.
just a quick question about the paper. Did an evaluation for my portfolio? Did you see the evaluation that I posted? Because I've been having problem with my computer, so I have to do everything on my phone.
Really?
And I don't know if it like comes up or not, like when I publish the evaluation.
You don't have a computer at home, Cerise?
No, it's like I'm having problem with it, so I send it to the
Okay.
technician. And
Cerise, why are you telling me this on August 5th when the work was due August 4th? You should have told me this weeks ago. And
it
I
just
would,
had problem like 2 days ago, and I thought
Okay.
that I can figure it out. Like, so I started like typing up on my phone to the APA thing, the paper and everything, but it like seems like it doesn't work.
Well, Cerise, you need to do something in because I know your grade is you're not getting you're getting a non-letter grade for this class, correct?
Yes.
As of now, you're on the border of getting a no pass grade as part of that. So post what you can. If I think that's a problem and you're on thin ice of getting just a regular passing grade, I'll let you know, okay?
All right, I will.
I
Sorry about
appreciate
that.
it.
And
You don't have to say you're sorry. You just got to communicate with me and we're fine.
all right.
All right, Cerise. Keep
Okay.
in touch with me, buddy, all right? Are you taking classes this fall?
Yes, I am.
Got your schedule all set?
Yes.
Are you in the practicum?
I'm in the practicum is the
390?
I'm doing econ, so I don't know.
Oh, you're not in
I
that, so
have
don't
to
worry
go
about
check.
it. Yeah, you're okay. You're okay.
Yeah.
Well, keep in touch with me, all right, Cerise?
All right, I'll try to do my best to finish it on my phone, and then I'll send it to you.
Just get it to me by the weekend, Saturday, okay?
All right,
All right,
I
buddy.
will.
Take care.
Thank you. You too.
Bye-bye.
Hi, sir. I had a question.
Yes, Brenda.
I just did the course evaluation, like you said. Is there a way to tell what, like, if you got it or like if you know that we completed it, even though it's anonymous?
Yeah, I can go into the system and it tells me who completed them and who has not completed them, Brenda. So I
Oh.
can't do that right now, but when I go in to get ready to do the grades, if I see a problem there, I'll let you know.
Oh, okay, perfect. I just wanted to make sure.
That's
Or
okay.
see if I email you or not.
That's okay. I'll go into the system. If I see that it's been posted, I won't worry about it. But if I see that you have not done it and you say you have, I'll let you know about that. Okay.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, it's done already. So.
Thanks, Brenda.
All right. Bye. Thank you so much. I enjoyed the class.
You take care.
You too.
Bye-bye. Miss Gabby.
Hi, I just wanted to say thank you. I did have a little bit of trouble. It was a little bit of a tough class for me because I am what is it, the child education major.
Yes.
So I I did have a little trouble, but I just did want to thank you. You did help a lot. I learned a lot of stuff and like a lot of new things about just investing and taxes right now. I enjoyed your video. It was cute. It wasn't that corny. It
Well,
was
great,
nice.
Gabby, and I know we have half our class is non-business majors, and that's what this class is designed to do, Gabby, is to help the non-business student understand the basics of business, of taking care of not business but your business, personal business. And
Yeah.
so any way we can help you with that, it's a good skill, good knowledge to know. You're not going to go out and buy a company, you're not going to go out and be a big investor, but you have the basics but to help you manage your money down the road, and I think that's important.
Yeah, it was great. Thank you so much.
Gabby, I appreciate it. You take care of yourself.
You too. Thank you.
Bye-bye. All right. This is Rick Hassey signing off, Claremont, California. Adios.